The great tennis players of the world have come to New York City for the U.S. Open that begins on Monday. And the New York City Parks Department and Recreation Foundation and the folks at Corral used the occasion to sponsor some clinics for kids in New York on the public courts of Central Park. And so we've come out to the park to join the person who will give the first clinic today, and a face that you will recognize. Steffi Graf is here in New York, joins us. Good to have you here. Nice to have you in New York.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm happy to be back.
When you work with kids, what do you look for? What is it that shows they may have some promise?
Well, I mean, first of all, what you look for is if they enjoy what they're doing. I think you got to have fun at that age. You really you got to want to be out there and enjoy what you're doing. So that's the first thing. And then it's usually the eyes. You know, sometimes you see that they're eager to play and eager to improve, and that makes it fun for the trainer too. When you give a clinic, does fame get in the way? I mean, can you really impart something about the game itself, or do they all want to talk about what's it like? You know? No, actually they're really eager to listen, you know, and to learn. And obviously it helps if you try to put a little bit of your experience into what you're trying to tell them. And they obviously like to listen about that too. But usually I haven't had any problems. You and I were talking as we watched some of these youngsters hit, and they hit pretty well. Yeah. You started on the tour at 13. You said you were playing tournaments at 7 or 8. Do you lose something of childhood when you do that, or is it overall the experience very positive? Actually, not at all, because what happens when you're, especially that young, when you're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, usually you travel with your parents, but usually with the car, so you bring all your, all your dolls, all your,
all the toys,
all
and
the
school books,
toys
I
and
suspect
things.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, well, that not so much. But you look much more looking forward actually to play with the other kids, with dolls and stuff like that, rather than really thinking about winning at that time. So it is actually a fun experience to travel when you're young and to be with a lot of other kids your own age. You've had a very successful year, a couple of majors this year. Total of 20 now, which is really quite something. But very successful in that regard, but also bedeviled by injuries. You've had foot problems, you've had knee problems, you've had back problems. How are you doing now? I'm feeling pretty comfortable right now. I mean, it's been not as easy, but I think if you win the French Open and Wimbledon, you can't be too bad. And you know, the fun and the excitement and motivation is still there. And pulled out of the Olympics because you were hurting. Yes. And a lot was made of the fact that Lindsay Davenport beat you in a recent tournament, and I saw a little bit of that match, just highlights, and I know you never use injury as an excuse, but you did not look like you were 100% there. Well, like you just said, I don't feel so comfortable talking about the injuries. Maybe I didn't feel as comfortable, but also I have to admit that she played some great tennis, and I've said it already earlier in the year. She's definitely somebody to watch out. She really improved in the past few months, and so I have to give her a lot of credit for playing some great tennis too. Are you 100% for this one? I try to be. 95? Close. Close? Hopefully. But looking forward to it, and we'll play. Yeah. For sure. I mentioned 20 Grand Slams now. That is an extraordinary record. Only Margaret Court has won more Grand Slams. Do you think about where you stand overall in this game? Not so much. I think I worry more about it maybe once I've stopped playing, but in the moment I'm just too involved in the game still, and records have never been something that I've looked at or felt like I wanted to achieve. You know, when you hear these numbers, I'm obviously more than impressed myself with them, but it's nothing that I really worry about. I mean, I worry much more about my performance on the court than gaining titles. But how do you get incentive after you've done something a number of times, after you've won what there is to be won? How do you say to get yourself up again? Say, Steffi, you got it. I just need to get on the court, take a racket in my hand, and play tennis, and that's all that I need to motivate myself. I mean, it's just still so much fun to be out there and try, you know, to play great tennis. I mean, it's still fun. It's still fun. It's still a challenge to me. Well, challenge and fun are two different things in my mind. Are they in yours? No, they're really close. They're really close. I mean, I see a challenge because I've always been driven by playing as good of a tennis as I can, and often I've been criticized because I won tournaments, but I wasn't too happy about winning them right. Because I wasn't happy about my performance, and so probably it's more challenge-driven, but definitely still a lot of fun, because otherwise I wouldn't go through everything that I've been going through, all my injuries and whatever. Given the fact that you have faced injuries, how much longer do you do this? I don't know. I can't tell you. In the moment, I still have so much fire in me that I can't tell. But I will see. I just let it come to me.
Well, may the fire continue to burn.
Thank
Good
you
to have
very
you.
much.
Good luck the next 2 weeks.
Thanks.
And you're nice to come out and work with the kids today.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it now.
Good to see you again,
Thanks.
as always. Thanks.
Thanks.
We take a break. Good Morning America continues after local news.